Muhammad does not know whether babies or children will go to heaven or hell. This is based on Sahih Muslim 2662c, and you can find all this information in the description box. It says, Aisha, the mother of the believers, said to Allah's Messenger, who was called to lead the funeral prayer of a child of the Ashnar, I said, Allah's Messenger, there is happiness for the child who is a bird from the birds of paradise, for he committed no sin, nor has he reached the age when one can commit sin. He said, Aisha, per advance, wait a minute. It may be otherwise, because God created for paradise those who are fit for it, while they were yet in their father's loins, and created for hell those who are to go to hell. He created them for hell while they were yet in their father's loins. Now, the important thing we need to understand here is that we have theistic determinism in play with regards to Islam. And according to the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, theological determinism is the view that God determined every event that occurs in the history of the world. So notice this. In Islam, we have the issue of God predetermining who will go to heaven and who will go to hell before they're ever born. But I want to explain to you what the biblical understanding is with regards to the children or babies going to heaven when they die. This can be found in 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 13 through 23. And this is right where the prophet Nathan is talking to King David after he confronts him about him killing Uriah in battle by the message of one of his generals. But it says in verse 13, David responded to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Then Nathan replied to David, and the Lord has taken away your sin, you will not die. However, because you treated the Lord with such contempt in this matter, the son born to you will die. Then Nathan went home. The Lord struck the baby that Uriah's wife had born to David, and he became deathly ill. David pleaded with God for the boy. He fasted, he went home, and he spent the night lying on the ground. The elders of his house stood beside him to get him up from the ground, but he would be unwilling and would not eat anything with them. On the seventh day the baby died, but David's servants were afraid to tell him that the baby had died. They said, look, while the baby was alive, we spoke to him, and he would not listen to us. So how can we tell him the baby is dead? He may do something desperate. When David saw that his servants were whispering to each other, he guessed that the baby was dead. So he asked his servants, is the baby dead? He is dead, they responded. Then David got up from the ground. He washed and anointed himself, changed his clothes, and went to the Lord's house and worshipped. Then he went home and requested something to eat. So they served him food, and he ate. His servants asked him, notice this, why have you done this? While the baby was alive, you fasted and wept, and then when he died, you got up and ate food. He answered, While the baby was alive, I fasted and I wept because I thought, who knows, the Lord may be gracious to me and let the baby live. Verse 23 is very important. But now that the baby is dead, why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I'll go to him, but he will never return to me. So David says, I'll go where the baby is, but he will never return to me. Now, where is the baby? Well, we know that David said he'll go there. So David is a believer, so David would go to heaven. So, logically speaking, then the baby would be in heaven as well, because the Lord is good, and the Lord will not send children to hell because they're not accountable for their sins, because they have not committed any sins. Of course, that's the age of accountability, but the point is that children go to heaven when they pass on. We do not have that same comfort in Islam. That's one of the primary differences between Islam and Christianity. With regards to Islam, Islam doesn't know whether children go to heaven or hell, but in Christianity we know for a fact, because the Lord is good, that he will allow the children to go to heaven.